We got Wisconsin here with us.
Oh, excellent. Hello, Jody from Wisconsin. Okay, so Aaron, would you like to get started?
Sure.
Sure, great. So, hi everyone, welcome to BAs on the Street. This is from the Bluegrass chapter IIBA, and we welcome you to our BAs on the Street where we meet up with BAs and have a nice dialogue and talk to them. Stephanie Hawkins from Community Outreach at the Bluegrass chapter. And we have with us today a distinguished guest, Aaron Whittenberger. He's also from the Bluegrass chapter, and very excited to finally have the opportunity to have him on BAs on the Street so we can really get an understanding of Aaron. And I tell you, you will not be disappointed from this conversation. So thank you, everyone, and we're so happy that you're here. So Aaron, I've had an opportunity as being part of the chat as a chapter member and now part of the chapter leadership to get a little more understanding and learn more about you. But would you like to share with everyone some information about yourself and just really help everyone understand how amazing you are?
Okay. Yeah, so I actually started my career in accounting, and not many people realize that. And I have 3 degrees. They're all in accounting and finance. And I was recruited right off campus. Started as the general corporate accountant, was the only one, and that reported directly to the CFO. And when they decided to network the 3 computers that we had at the time, and that I was the one that was crawling through the ceilings and fishing wire through the walls to put the Fox Pro network together and that. And when they decided to go to the IBM mid-range, and that the CFO noticed I liked working with computers. So they came up to me and asked me if I'd like to head up the project. And we brought in it was a System 38 at the time. And the CFO said, you know what, we'll be out of this system in 3 years. Let's get the next one. And they sent that back and brought in the AS400. And so we implemented that one. They didn't like, and by this time, my job title was data processing manager, is what it was called back then.
Oh, wow.
So we implemented that. I went to the 8 freight terminals. It was regional, and installed the dumb terminals and trained their people on the new software and all of that. And they didn't like the reporting that came out of the packaged software that we bought. So they gave me recordings and workbooks. So self-taught developer and programmer, became a programmer, wrote some management reports that the CEO and the CFO wanted that wasn't available in the system. So I was writing reports for them, and that kind of went from that to becoming a developer was a developer for 20 years, really, I think, in that. And I was at a boutique consulting firm, really a contracting firm, in Cincinnati. And an opportunity, they got 3 seats into a BA boot camp class. And they said, you could go to this business analysis boot camp class. And the first thing I asked is, what's business analysis? What is business analysis? And it was very interesting. So this is early 2000s. And, they said, I'm going to send you to this. And one of my buddies was going to go to, and he backed out at the last minute. Didn't go to class and everything. I go, you're crazy. But and then I was asking that question, what is business analyst? What does a business analyst do? And started doing my own research. Google's your best friend, right? We didn't have AI back then. Uh, but So I started looking up what is business analysis. Came across IIBA, came across the CBAP, and I started looking at the requirements for CBAP. Now at this point, I never had the job title of business analyst. I've been a team lead. I've been mostly programmer analyst, uh,
Right.
and all of that kind of thing. Um,
Was
and
was was that term even being used then? Because I mean, people refer to it, but I don't think it was a like widely known because you had other names.
It wasn't widely known. And my one to that point, the last company I was with, and my one interaction with a person that had the job title business analyst, we brought him in as I was team lead of 6 developers, and we brought him in at the end to test and make sure that the solution that we were building, met the requirements and everything.
Right.
So they, what we call QA, but that's how that company utilized business analyst. And that's the way it was back then it was very much, the profession was very much in its novice. See, and um, different companies utilized them differently. And probably none of them, was either that QA role or it was requirements engineering. And, there was no set real way of um, defining that. And this was the early days of IIBA as well.
Right.
And so,
It's a
um,
it's amazing how much has changed from then. And
yeah,
like so much of the BA work that people were doing for years that wasn't really recognized from it. And I just like to say that what an interesting start of your career to start out in accounting and discover an aptitude for computers, and then migrating, or the changeover when the internet became really introduced in the early 2000s, right? It was like around 2003, 2004, and we're still using dumb terminals, and just all of the transition and being able to take that BA skill, whether it's known or unknown, that was a skill set for you or the role that you had, and be able to take that and understand and translate that into just the progression of your career. Now, after all of that, what is the current role in your organization? Where are you working now? And tell us more about that.
yeah. Now I am a business analyst and pretty much an agile business analyst. So my company is now in our 4th year of our agile journey and transformation. And the really nice thing that's happening now, 4 years ago, we started the agile transformation. What they're doing right now in that is bringing in the product mindset, and that
Oh,
we're forming product teams versus project teams. And that so I'm in the middle transition right now of our certain area that I've been working in to get to that product thing. So very much agile. We're using Scrum and that. The company, and I hear many people within the company really talking about, it's product owner, developers, and Scrum Master. There's no QA, there's no analyst.
what
And
about what about the project manager role? So, you think in Agile, they still have some of the traditional roles of the project manager who aligns at the same
yeah,
level
and
as the Scrum Master? No?
in Scrum, there is no project manager role
Right.
either. And so a lot of the project managers do kind of take on that Scrum Master role. And in our company, we have kept our traditional things. So even though we're going agile in that, I don't code any longer.
Okay.
I have transitioned my career. It took me about 2 years there in the early 2000s, once I got out of that BA boot camp, to transition my career. I knew that's where I wanted to go, but I was still a developer in that. And then I started taking on only business analysis gigs. And
Okay.
I actually went to the owner of that company and told him, I want to start a business analysis service out of your company,
Oh,
and
wow.
and service business analysts to the community to projects, for your clients and all of that. And he says, well, I don't think people can do only that role, and I don't think companies exist, just doing business analysis. So I felt I was more in tune with the market than what he was.
Right.
And I did stay there very long.
Well, value propositions, right? Like looking at the dollars, like, is that a role or is that a service that we can sell? And then, I'm sure they're doing it. They're just not calling it BA, right? Because, yeah. Wow. So, excuse me, with your agile transformation in your current company, are you still doing waterfall at all? Or is it really just all migrated over to that agile mindset?
Well, I think within the organization, everyone's at its different point in its transition and everything. I think we do have some projects still going on and still going in waterfall. We have a project prioritization, what's most important to the organization. Big program things that have multiple projects underneath it. When we started the agile transformation 4 years ago, and that shortly after that, I was on a project. The project manager came in and said, "Hey, do you want to do this agile thing?" And so we got buy-in from all the developers and everybody else, involved in the team and everything. And we did unofficial, agile. So basically we were doing agile without the enterprise or the organization support for it. And that, so.
Wow. So blending in, so from what I understand and, having heard your leader, Tracy, speak at different, different events and in meetings and such, I mean, the transformation that you're doing in your company is really kind of an amazing thing and really has provided so much value, and your whole the amount of people that are involved is impressive. So how many BAs are you up to within your center of excellence?
We always say 80. It might be slightly like 78. I'm not sure exactly our herd count, but we always say we have an 80 person. That's 80.
That's pretty amazing.
Now, Orlando has had his hand up.
Oh, I'm sorry. I was so fascinated listening. So go ahead and ask your question. So
you should be able to come off mute and ask, or if you want to put it in the chat.
Yeah. Regal. L-A-D.
I don't see him.
Please ask your question.
All right.
Yeah, anybody that has any questions along the way, please feel free. This is interactive. We're always happy to have people ask questions and, chat along with us. Okay, and when you're ready, ask, and if not, we'll just keep rolling.
How long have you been with the IIBA?
With the IIBA, I think I joined in 2008. And I became a chapter leader in 2008 of another chapter because Bluegrass didn't exist back then. So yeah, I think I joined in 2008. That's when I got my CBAP, and that's a piece of the story I didn't get to tell back in there when I got out of that, or when I was doing the research before I went to the BA boot camp. Came across IIBA, came across the CBAP, and was reading the requirements for CBAP. And again, I've never held the title business analyst to this point. And I kept reading those requirements and kept saying, yep, did that. And I go, you know what? I'm going to go get this. Go to the boot camp, and that's the last requirement I needed was professional development hours. And that, so it was funny because I decided, okay, I'm going to get a certification out of this class and that. And I back then you did everything on paper. Today it's all electronic. So you had to do the application. You had to get your two references, have them send their references back to you in a sealed envelope that they wrote their names with, very signed across the seal, so that IIBA would know that it wasn't opened.
Times have
You have to
changed.
package everything all together and then mail it to IIBA. So I put it on our administrative assistant's corner of her desk, and I said, mail this Friday. Can't be Thursday. It has to go Friday because that's the last day of class, and that's when I would be eligible. And it couldn't be postmarked before that. So it was in the mail, when I was in class finishing my professional development hours. I actually waited 6 months after that until the CBAP was computer based. So I could have gone to Louisville. The Louisville IIBA chapter was doing the facilitating, monitoring the exam on paper, or I actually waited 6 months until September of 2008. It became computer based. So I could take it at a testing center up here and everything. So that's what I did.
Well,
And
they've certainly made it a lot easier for people to take exams and to study for exams. I know you've had such a passion for learning in this BA space, not just learning and, certifications, helping people with the study, all the study classes that the Bluegrass chapter provides, just being an integral part of that, but also too, when I think about like the new standards that have come out from IIBA, you've embraced them, you've helped teach them, you've helped write the study course material, like for the data analytics. And so with all of that sincere passion to make sure that not only you are a expert in this area, but making sure that you're enabling anybody else that wants that opportunity to just learn, to just attend classes, get certifications. What do you think that IIBA should do next, like with new standards or publications? And even if it's not IIBA, even just the Bluegrass chapter, another chapter, where do you think we should develop this BA space next?
There's a lot IIBA can do in standards and also in their messaging as well. And that my manager and I are shouting from the rooftop that there is a role for the business analyst in Agile, even though everybody thinks product owner, developers, Scrum Master. I feel my role is I sit on the developers team, which the Agile extension to the BABAC calls it the delivery team. Because there's a lot of opinion out there that everybody on that developers team has to know how to code. Well, in today's world, I don't know how to code. I don't code, but I do sit on that team, and I support the entire team, but I in particular support the product owner, help them clarify, elaborate, and decompose stories. I put the acceptance criteria, any clarifications from stakeholder discussions in that. So I create that shared understanding of the expected outcome of all these product backlog items. I make sure that they're ready for the team to work on when it comes time for sprint planning, that they have enough that they can put on the sprint backlog. So there's a lot in that messaging. I don't hear it so much from IIBA as I do from my own manager.
Okay.
So they can certainly do that. Certainly increase the certification program. I like the 3-tier thing for the core certifications from the ECBA to CCBA to the CBAP. Why don't we have that for the other 3 specialized? Agile, we've had the Agile certification for quite a while now. Why isn't there an entry certificate there and then the certification? So people can move up as their career, grows.
That's a great idea. That's a great idea. That might be something we could do in the Bluegrass chapter, really start teasing out what that would mean, and from that to help people get that taste of it. Because from an agile perspective, I mean, there's lots of flavors. And when people say agile, it can mean many things to many different people. Some of the BA techniques that are part of just the core CBAP or whatever, translate over into agile with a little bit of a definition change, as well as the product owner. So really just making sure that, at whatever lane that you're in with these certifications, you understand the terminology and the techniques that are best used or most used within it. And, even from that starter perspective, that would be helpful, right? It would be, enable people to really want to go down that path instead of being afraid that, you have to be the expert in order to be able to get that certification. So that is a great line of thought.
And as far as what's next, the specialized certifications, agile, business data analytics, product ownership analysis, cybersecurity. There are many other lenses in which business analysis operates. Certainly standards and certification can be built around all of those, and that's such as digital transformation, has been around for a little while and everything. You may think of artificial intelligence. Well, using ChatGPT, generative AI is using a tool to help you with your work. I don't see that as, a standard, something that needs standard. But if you're working with the large language models, if you're helping business intelligence or your company to actually create artificial intelligence and using that, creating that, that is an area that can be a standard of certification and that. But robotics, RPA, we can certainly build standards of how business analysts operate in those environments.
Right. That's a great idea. Have you seen any within IIBA any working sessions or any initiatives to get that kicked off at all? Or is that something that chapters or individual BAs should consider to bring into to this space?
I think chapters can certainly educate on that kind of thing as far as building the standard in that. I think it would be best that the central organization does such a thing. I haven't heard that talk within IIBA. I volunteered to help rewrite the Agile extension to the BABAC because there's a few holes in there.
Right.
And I wanted to fill those up as well as, the BABAC is what is it, 7, 8 years old or something?
Yeah,
Can be
use a dust off.
increased in that. The Agile extension is, over 5 years old. Certainly more techniques in that can be added to it. Right. I like the framework of those standards, but certainly there's things that have changed over the last 5 to 7 years that can be added to those standards.
Right. Well, even you think about like the things that you're talking about or what you teach or help to teach in the professional development classes. I mean, the standards are great to help you along, but there's also that real world experience of what you're using, right? And so in the BA space, you're migrating from Excel spreadsheets back in the day where we captured, requirements and did a number of things because that was the tool set that was readily available, right? And you had your own personal toolkit that you developed over the years on how you would do things quickly, whether you're going from company to company or just doing your work. And so now we have tools out there, right? Real agile tools. You have Jira, you have Azure DevOps that has it, you have Rally. There's a number of tools out there that the techniques that are in the BABAC really could benefit from that linkage and also just, showcasing some of those more. So as a BA that maybe think about it, if you were a newer BA, right? You come to these community events or training events and saying, okay, I want to learn how to be a BA. And you learn a lot of solid background, but also some of the tools, especially in the agile space, could be beneficial to maybe learn some more about how to do those. So when you go out to, apply for jobs or get experiences, you have a little bit of a taste of it. And we kind of do that in some of our events, right? Where, we're bringing in like Miro and in some of those things that you can use to, with collaborative games or other things, but really give people a taste of like, hey, it's not the same spreadsheet anymore, right? You can do so many things in tools that are off the shelves or, enterprise tools. So do you have some thoughts on that?
Thoughts on using enterprise tools?
Yeah, like in your organization, what kind of tools are, you were talking about standards and you were talking about, all the gaps that are out there. Are there some like things that you're doing within your organization that could help translate back to some improvements within IIBA's work?
IIBA's work, I don't know. We're actually, and I see a question in the chat about where Bluegrass events listed, so I can show you that. But one thing that's happening is our website is going to be changing over the next 2 months. IIBA is changing the website platform that they give to chapters, and we're not on their current website platform because we got a better one. And we are moving back to their website because they're going to a commercially available platform that is very much a competitor to the ones that we use. And it's got enough of the functionality that takes the work off of our chapter leadership, which is the problem with today's platform. So I did want to show, there's our website and everything, bluegrass.iiba.org. I saw Steph threw that in the chat. So we only got room for 2 of the upcoming chapter events that are here. But if you scroll about 2/3 the way down under the video, you can see a lot more of our upcoming events, and that goes into January, maybe even February. With the events that we have on here. We're not going to go much farther because February, March, you'll see us on a new platform. The whole design of this is going to change, which I'm really excited about and everything. But you see our January, here's our next one, Justin Cockerham, is much newer into the BA profession. And that's so it's going to be a very interesting discussion with a younger BA. But we split them between our meetings and webinars there and our professional development events. So there is a fee to attend these, but this is professional development, not just education or that. This is actual training, and that we have 2 types. A study group. So our first study group next year is going to be the product owner analysis study group to get the CPOA certificate from IIBA. Then we have career courses. So this one will help you utilize generative AI to do your work as a business analyst and that. So it will be a very good course if you want to get on that topic and see how you can use ChatGPT to help you in your work in that. But good website to stay in tune with what's going on at Bluegrass chapter.
Well, I'd just like to say thank you for showing us and just point out another one of your, I guess, amazing things that you do to support the BA community. Not only do you help with the professional development, but you make sure that everything that's occurring within our chapter is updated on the website and are leading the initiative to migrate that over with the IIBA. So it's just, your list of accomplishments are just immense. So I know I don't want you to blush, but I'm just saying anybody that knows Aaron knows that definitely has a path for making sure that things happen in this space. So we appreciate it. And I know Bill appreciates it. So
and the question in that was about tools and that.
tools?
Yeah.
Am I falling down on my job here? Yeah, I must be.
A lot of times I hear it amongst others in that, but one of our chapter leaders has used Jira in the past, and I've ever use that, our organization is bringing that in. And we use a tool called SpiroPlan from a company called Inflecture, who used to be a chapter leader or a chapter sponsor for the Bluegrass chapter. They were for like 3 or 4 years, and they just recently dropped it because it's more started as a testing tool more than business analysis, but it's got a Kanban board within it and that kind of thing. I understand Jira has the same thing. I actually Jira training next week, and I get to tell Kathy that we're bringing in Jira. I'm finally going to get to use it and see it.
You're going to love it, Jira. It's a great tool with the wikis and all of that. You're absolutely going to love it. So Aaron, we have a question from Joel. First off, he says, congratulations on your 2023 volunteer award, which if people are not aware of it, Aaron is the IIBA Global Volunteer of the Year for the Southeast Americas region. So congratulations, Aaron. I was super excited to be able to let people know that. I got to announce it. So you have 100% deserved that. And it's great, Joel, that you brought that up. And then his question to you is, what do you enjoy most about giving back to our profession in chapter? And then there's a second part. So what do you enjoy most about it? I think everything, but let's hear it from you.
It's the interaction with people, and that, so especially now that we've gone more virtual environment and that, I even in the virtual world and that, I love talking to people, engaging, connecting with people. I enjoy teaching our study groups and that, and I don't teach them all, but it's really, giving back and helping others progress their career, and that is what it is.
Well, you definitely have a passion for that. And then he asks, what advice or encouragement would you give to those who are new to the community in terms of getting involved and helping others? So what advice on how
to newer ones? Certainly do everything you can to advance your own career. Make your decisions on where you want your career to go. Are you going to specialize in data or agile, or you want to be a general business? It's completely up to you, but learn from others, connect. Maybe I had somebody ask me the other day if I would mentor them, and that's not the first time I've been asked, and things like that. But also you can connect with the entire community by going to chapter events and that, and we get people from outside of, we get international audience at all of our events. And you don't have to be in Kentucky to join Bluegrass IIBA events. You don't have to attend only the local chapter to you. You can go to any chapter event and connect with that community and that. Find mentors to help grow your things and engage in those environments or in those events. Don't just sit back and listen. And that also, I think if you don't attend a live event, you're not really investing in your career. So we have so many people who just want the recording. They register for the event. Like we had 29 people, registered for this event. There's 17 here today. A lot of people register and they just want the recording, and that you lose all that interaction. You could have been here just like Joel and asked a question, of the speakers and that, and hear the actual conversation and take part in that conversation, not just sit back and listen to it.
Yeah, and it does. I mean, and it really does help with your learning and understanding. And from the mentoring piece, I think personally, I think you do it naturally and don't even realize you do it. You've been mentoring me for a very long time, and I greatly appreciate it. Helped me with many opportunities. And so Joel, what I found when coming to Bluegrass, as well as Southeast Michigan and some other chapters, is that there's always somebody more than someone who is really interested in saying hi and wants to make sure that your presence is known and appreciated, and just engaging with them, and then as well as finding natural mentors like Aaron or others that really just want to, help you become whatever it is that you want to be in the BA space, whether it's giving you opportunities like me to do BA on the street, because Aaron has encouraged and helped me do this, or just learn some new skills and some new techniques to increase your practical skills and all of that. So Aaron, another question. What would you like IIBA to do more to support the global BA community? I mean, we've talked a lot about our chapter and, our friend chapters that we do a lot of activities with, but from that BA community to really, it is global. How could they do more to help us really just learn more, do more, share more?
Yeah, I think we talked about that a little bit. Absolutely define the business analyst role in those other environments, in digital, in agile. Let them know that there is a role, and just because your organization is going to agile doesn't mean that you have to become the product owner or the scrum master. There's no role for you. That all the developers on the developer team does not have to know how to code. We know a company up in Cincinnati that just a couple years ago, they transitioned a few of their BAs to the product owner role and let the rest of them go. And it's very funny that last week I saw a job posting, just one job posting for a business analyst for that company. And so I don't know if that means that they're going to hire, they found out, well, no, we need business analysts and they're hiring them back, or, what's going on. I'm not internal to that organization, but I've seen a couple of organizations go through that, and they don't understand that just because the platform, the standard or what, doesn't define that role, that, it doesn't actually exist, kind of the difference between the role and the job description or the job title. And
So Aaron, I have another question for you. And this comes from Kathy Warren. What type of coursework do you recommend college students take if they are interested in learning more about the BA world?
Yeah, if the company doesn't have a formal business analysis, program or curriculum, and that certainly some business, understanding business, having that business acumen, and also, a little bit of computer or information technology. A lot of BAs operate within the, IT realm. I report to a BA Center of Excellence that reports to the IT side of the house and that, but get some business thing, understand, business relationships. So that's another good one, is understanding how to build those business relationships, because you're going to be building them every day and nurturing all those business relationships with a whole slew of stakeholders.
Okay, great answer. Okay, I'm just checking to see if anyone has anything more. And then Kathy, I posted to you about Retta from our chapter, who also is our professional development person, has been working in her area, in the Wisconsin area, with schools to really try to bring in the college and high school people into the BA space, so that way they can learn more and really start to feel engaged with that. So you can reach out to her to get some more information. She's been working with Aaron. Aaron's been working with her on expanding that space to really, help mentor and bring along new people, whether they're younger or older, into the BA space, because it's so important to be able to do that and to learn. And then, okay, Eladio, and I'm sorry for mispronouncing your name, said, I want to congratulate Aaron on this huge recognition, new to IBA, and this is the first BA on the street that you're attending. My question is
Welcome.
welcome. Do you want to ask your question?
No, that was me that was welcoming.
Oh, okay, gotcha. Okay. The question is how does IIBA through BABAC plan to address the evolving landscape of business analysis? I know the different communities are doing a great job on this. So how does IIBA through the BABAC plan to address the evolving landscape of BAs?
Well, that's one thing I said earlier. I think the BABAC, the Agile extension, do need updated. 7 or 8 year old documents and that they do. And whether it's update the entire document, I think doing addendums to those documents, instead of just rewriting the whole thing, may be a faster way to update those. They also have a knowledge hub on the IIBA website. So if you're a member, that's a member benefit. You could go in the Knowledge Hub, and that's where all the new information and everything is being built into that Knowledge Hub. And there's multiple ways to navigate through that to get to the kind of knowledge that you want to gain.
Okay, excellent. Great question, by the way. Great question.
Alistair, can you hear me?
Yes.
All right. Thank you very much, Steph. Thank you, Aaron. Yeah, I just asked the question. My name is Oladaya. So, Steph, you did a good job. You didn't want the name. Thank you for that. Actually, I'm new to IBA, like I said earlier. So I guess I'll be going to the portal just to check around what I can learn, because I'm based in the UK and there's this kind of contemplation between BCS and IBA, So basically, I will try as much as possible to do my research on that, check the portal to see what's evolved technologies and evolving methodologies I can actually learn. So thank you for that, Steph.
Yeah, certainly, and do that. Like I said, I did that research when I was told I was going to that BA boot camp class. So yeah, certainly do your research, go out to the IIBA website and see what they have available. And I do recommend membership, whether you're looking at certification or not. There is an entry level certificate in business analysis called the ECBA. It's the first step of the core general business analysis certifications. Doing the study and the education to obtain that certificate really goes through the BABAC and makes you understand. It's not just reading, it is studying the BABAC and really understanding that. And then as you work as a business analyst, being able to translate that knowledge into your daily work and is really the benefit of getting that certificate in that. I think it also helps increase your level of confidence that you're doing things the way that a lot of business analysts around the world are doing it. So welcome from the UK. The UK has an excellent chapter themselves, and they're part of that first group of chapters that are going to migrate to the new IIBA chapter website with us and everything. So, stay in tune with your local chapter. You're always welcome at Bluegrass events, and we hope to see you at future ones.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. Yeah,
Definitely. There's a wide variety of, as Aaron was showing earlier, events that we do. We do them cross chapters. We have Kathy Warren here from Southeast Michigan, and we do events with her chapter frequently, and it's always just a lot of fun. And and then speaking of that, you think about the value of IIBA Global. We've been talking about that, the BABAC, the direction that it should take. Should they be developing things that are, really trying to stay current with the direction of where BAs are going in Agile? And then, but, we haven't really talked about as much about the value of membership in your local chapters. You have your UK chapters there. We have our Bluegrass. We have some, here in Michigan. So Aaron, you Oh, when I first started attending IIBA chapter meetings, I really immediately felt the value of the membership. I just didn't understand long-term what that really meant until time went on. And the Bluegrass chapter really helped me to understand that. Would you be able to kind of explain like the value of a membership in a local chapter, and even, talk about the Bluegrass chapter if you'd like, what that really means to people? And
Certainly. First of all, you join a local chapter by joining IIBA, and then on your profile, you identify what chapter supports your business analysis career. Typically, it's the one that's closest to you. It's your local chapter, and that it doesn't have to be. You're welcome at Bluegrass chapter, all you want to be, no matter where you are in the world. And we actually have international membership in that. So not just the United States and Canada, but we have, I know 3 members from India and a couple of other countries are part of our membership, not just our community. But the value of membership comes from, what the chapter delivers to you and or to the community, and such events as this. But it's that connection with the local community or a community of business analysts, being able to learn from them. And it can be the education, and what the chapter can educate you or train you on going towards certification, and that if that's an interest to you. But I think it's the connections that you can build within a community that is the greatest value of membership.
okay. Yeah, and there's a lot of value in it. And like today when we're talking about BAs on the street, we're talking about a variety of topics, and every BA has their own different story on how they became a BA, or even if their title isn't BA and you still are in that space. And so there's so much value you can get from just the attending sessions like these, where you have an opportunity to hear how other fellow BAs are, have made their career what they are. Many of them do not start out as a pure BA, right? I mean, so many people transitioned into it or realize that it truly is their passion, that they're doing it in their work. They're just not called a BA. And so, and there's so much to learn as well. I mean, there's a lot of certifications that are out there. Aaron, how many certifications is it that you have right now? I don't think we covered that earlier in this.
I don't know if we have to.
We could.
I actually have 3 from my IBA and then 2 from other certifying bodies, such as the Certified Scrum Product Owner from the Agile or the Scrum Alliance, and I have one from IC Agile as well. And again, product owner. I kind of lean to the product owner versus the Scrum Master, and that, like I said, in my role, I primarily support the product owner, but I create that shared understanding of the amount of the entire team of with the work we need to get done and that expected outcome of that work. So in that way, I support the entire team, but I work very closely with our product owners.
Okay, great. And does anybody have any questions for Aaron? I want to make sure that everybody has an opportunity to ask them. And
less than a month that you joined. Well, congratulations.
Happy to have you, for sure. And then, Aaron, I'm going to, as we start to wrap up our BAs on the street, been so fortunate that I've been able to get to know you and have this opportunity to, engage with you and hear more about your story, as well as to continue to congratulate you on winning, the Volunteer of the Year award, which that award is you, truly, not just saying that, it's just you are that award. So what is the next thing that you're going to be working on?
I changed my background too early.
Oh my goodness, you did. There you go. What is the next thing that you're working on?
And truly, this is all Stephanie's idea.
No,
And that
this is not my idea.
she approached me a little while back and she goes, I got this idea. What do you think? And she started explaining, you know, like a BA boot camp or a book club and that kind of thing. And we don't want to make people read a book and then, you know, have like the traditional book club thing. But this was an idea of bringing in authors of business or business analysis books, anything that kind of crosses the chasm into our arena and that. And you know, you may have seen them if you've been at our previous meetings where we've had like Carl Wieger come in and he does completely a promotional thing about a new book he has coming out. And it's all about the content of the book and that. This is going to be a little bit different. You know, we'll get into the content of the book, but you know, it's going to be an interview, conversation thing between Stephanie and the author. You know, getting into more about why the book. You know, what do you want our business analysts to take away from the book, from reading your book? How do you think this is going to help them do their career? You know, and you know, topics like that. It may be about the challenges. What was the challenges writing that book? And
also questions from the audience too, right? You know, and so it'll be very interactive, and Aaron's helping with this. So it's not because we really want to, there's so much to learn out there and so many people to share it with us. We really want to get more in depth, and the questions that sometimes we get asked in these sessions, because people really are interested in more granular details about how to do something or how to get there or what that might mean. And so many authors are sharing that in their books. So we want to kind of delve into that and make sure that you have that opportunity to, you know, learn from them. And so that way it's not just promotional. It really is like, how can we connect the dots and get people on the path of learning, and plus we get to learn too. So stay tuned for some of that coming up. You'll see,
like our little nook.
Aaron's brilliant background. Yes. So with that, Aaron, it's getting closer to time, and if no one has any more questions, let me see if there are any. Let me check the chat. And okay, excellent. And so we're going to wrap it up. And so just want to say thank you, Aaron, for being our BA on the Street this month, December 2023. And I've had a great time talking to you, and I'm so fortunate that I get that opportunity frequently. And I encourage all of you, if you ever want to engage with Aaron, he is always available, a fantastic mentor, even though he doesn't offer up his mentoring, he does. And really appreciate it. And we hope you have the best of holidays. And thank you for taking the time to spend this session with us, and take care. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you for all being here.